Hello friends, this is Hedda. Welcome back to my channel. I recently changed my PO box to a PO box that is much closer to where I currently live because it was getting pretty tedious to have to travel halfway across the city to get to my old one. I was a little bit worried at first that I would have issues receiving mail, but luckily it seems that it's been going well, and lately I've received several letters from you guys, and today I want to reply to one of them. I'm not able to reply to all of them, but I do my best to at least reply to some of them. This time I wanted to make a spring themed letter for Karen in Germany. I really wanted to try out these new vellum envelopes that I got, and it turned out really cute. I really enjoy trying new papers and new envelopes. It kind of makes the PENPAL project into more of an experiment. And speaking of trying new things, let me tell you a little bit about the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community with thousands of classes on anything from crocheting to making music to pottery. Skillshare is there to help you take your hobbies further. If you don't know exactly where to start, Skillshare has curated learning paths containing a few classes that build upon each other to create a comprehensive and diverse path to mastering a skill. This month I've been following a learning path called Start Creating Stunning Photo Edits in Adobe Lightroom, because I use Adobe Lightroom to edit all of my Instagram posts, but I only ever use the very basic features, and I know that there's so much more to this program, and I definitely wasn't using the full power of it. The path contains 3 classes by Daniel Nabucco, Evgenia and Dominic Regini Brand, and also Enrico Luzzi. The first 500 people to click the link in the description box will get a 1-month free trial to Skillshare, where you'll be able to access everything that Skillshare has to offer, whether it's individual classes or whole learning paths. Have fun building your skills this year. And now let's get back to my PENPAL letter, and I'll take you through the process and the materials that I used. Karen sent this letter to me a few months ago. It was actually sent to my old PO box, so the address on the envelope is my old PO box. Don't send letters there. Send it to my new PO box address, which is in the description box below. I got these vellum envelopes at Michael's the last time I was in the US, and a while back I got this cherry blossom pet tape from Journal Say. This is one of those pet tapes where I don't really know who made it because they are on a lot of websites. I think I've found them on AliExpress, Journal Say, some other places as well. It's really pretty, and actually my pen pal Lena from Journaling with Lena, she sent me a similarly decorated letter one time, and I wanted to not replicate it because I could never, but I wanted to use the same style, I guess. And so I was just using my cutting mat and my X-Acto knife to cut out all the little flowers, and then I just glued them onto the envelope. And the idea was that I would go kind of around the edges with the pet tape flowers, and then since the envelope is vellum, it's see-through, so you'll still be able to see the contents of the letter. So I wanted to have another envelope on the inside and then kind of decorate that a little bit. It didn't turn out exactly like what I had in mind, because it turned out I didn't have any envelopes that fit perfectly inside of this envelope. I should have probably checked that ahead of time, but you know, I just thought I would have some because I have a lot of random little envelopes. And so, yeah, I thought I would have one that fit perfectly, but I had one that kind of fit. It was just not as wide, which is okay. This actually took quite some time to cut out all of the flowers and stick them on there. I'm really happy that I have these tweezers that I got in Japan. I bought these at Tokyo Hands, and they are just regular nail art tweezers. So they're a little bit curved. I really like them, and they were perfect for this. At first I just wanted to do the edges, but then I was kind of overdoing it a little, and then I just kept putting flowers down, and I got closer and closer to the center, and at some point I just had to stop. The envelope that I chose to have inside of the vellum envelope is this white envelope. It's almost a little bit cream colored, so it looks very soft and easy on the eyes. I really like it, but as you can see, it's quite a bit smaller than the envelope. But it's fine. I also had these square, smaller vellum envelopes that are also from Michaels. Actually, all of these envelopes are from Michaels. I love getting envelopes from there whenever I'm in Utah, so absolutely love those. I bought these envelopes thinking they would be really great for extras in pen pal letters, so that's what I'm using it for this time. But of course I had to decorate it a little bit more with the cherry blossom pet tape. This was a lot faster because obviously I can't fit as many onto here, and I didn't have to worry too much about the space that would be visible. So I kind of just filled it around all of the edges, and then in the center I used Tombow Fudenosuke to write on it. And I was a little bit worried about whether it was going to be difficult to write on the vellum paper, but it was actually really easy and no smudging or anything, so I'm very pleased with that. I'm doing things a little bit out of order here because normally I would decorate the envelope, or envelopes in this case, fully, but I'm waiting a little bit with the white envelope here, and I am decorating and making this little folder card thingy. This is a card that opens up in the middle. I love using these for pen pal letters, and I'm just making some pockets and a belly band and just, you know, places where I can fit some gifts for Karen. And I'm just using some scrap paper that I have for this. Actually, I think these particular ones are from Notebook Therapy. I have a lot of like half-used papers lying around, and they are just perfect for projects like this because I just need something that will be durable enough to hold some stickers and washi tape samples and stuff, and looks nice but is not overly decorated already because I want to decorate the little pockets myself. So I have these cherry blossom themed wooden stamps from Notebook Therapy. This is their Hinoki Into the Blossom line from last year. I'm not sure if they are still for sale, but they are absolutely beautiful, and I used a few of them here. I stamped some at the back of the card so they will be visible after Karen takes out all of the extras, and then I used some of them on the pockets to decorate the pockets a little bit. And I'm using a brown ink pad, or like a sepia or vintage brown color from Versafine, which is my favorite ink pads ever. Before I fill it, I wanted to decorate the front of the card. I didn't decorate the back at all, but I did want to decorate the front. I have these really pretty girl stickers. I think these are from Mindwave, my favorite sticker company in Japan, pretty much. They're really pretty. And it's so much fun decorating this type of card because it's such a challenge to figure out where things should go because it opens in the middle. So it naturally creates these two panels side by side, but I didn't want to decorate them separately. So what I will often do is I will just glue things on there as if it was a regular piece of paper, and then I will use scissors after and cut down the middle so that it will open like it's supposed to. And it works quite well. I used some washi tape here from Paper Monogatari and some old book paper. The frame thingy is from Notebook Therapy in their Hinoki starter set. And then I used another wooden stamp that is also in their starter set, I'm pretty sure, like one of their first Hinoki stamp sets. And then of course the cherry blossom pet tape that I used on the outer envelope. And then all that was left to do was to figure out which girl sticker to put on the front. And this was really hard, but I ended up with this very elegant looking one holding some blue flowers, and I thought the blue was a nice little contrast to all of the brown and the pink. And here you can see me cutting the card into basically very carefully because I wanted to follow the main line, and I also didn't want to accidentally cut the belly band that I had glued into the card on the inside. Luckily it all went smoothly. Then I got out all of my wax seals. These are pre-made wax seals that have stickers on the back, so they are similar to the ones that I sell in my shop. Most of these are made by Charlotte from Simple Overload. Some of them are from PENPAL, some of them are from Notebook Therapy, but the vast majority, I'd say 90%, are from Simple Overload. I got out a few that I really liked, and then I glued down a smaller one onto the card, and then I wanted to gift Karen some of these, so that's what I'm using the smaller vellum envelope for. So I picked out a few that I really like, some pink, some white, some greens that I think would look really nice. And then I accidentally put them in the wrong way. I glued shut the envelope, and then I realized that you'll be able to only see the back of the wax seals from the front of the envelope, which doesn't look very nice. But I was able to gently open it and flip them all over so that they were facing the right way. And then I glued the envelope shut again. It's a learning process. I've never used see-through envelopes like this before. Now for the inner envelope. This is the envelope that will be visible through the outer vellum envelope. And I knew that I needed to have the address and Karen's name on the outer vellum envelope. So this envelope would be purely for decoration. And that is very fun. I wanted to have Karen's first name here on this envelope as well, but mostly it would just be decoration, and I wanted to keep it fairly simple and centered in the middle because obviously the outer edges are going to be covered by the cherry blossoms anyway, so you won't really be able to see anything. So I didn't see the point in decorating all the way out to the edges or like using the edges as a guideline or whatever. So instead I tried to center everything and make this nice little collage in the middle here. I'm layering cherry blossom, pet tape, stamps, old book paper. I wanted the cherry blossoms to kind of come out behind the old book pages because I wanted to write Karen's name, or not write, but I wanted to stamp Karen's name on a separate piece of paper and then glue that onto the envelope. And gluing paper onto pet tape, which is plastic, is very difficult because I find that things don't really stick very well to the smooth plastic. So that's why I have the old book paper that is kind of in front of the cherry blossoms and creates a very nice base for gluing down Karen's name afterwards. Cutting out the letters was a little bit finicky because they are so small, but I have some really good scissors, so it worked out fine. I just had to cut out each little piece, and then I used my tweezers and a glue stick to glue them down. So it was fairly pain-free. The tweezers just saved me every time. They just made it a lot easier, especially with these long press-on nails. They just make things like this a little bit annoying. Then it was time for some final details. This You've Got Mail stamp is from Notebook Therapy. There are letters stamp set. So I put this up here in the right corner because I felt like it needed a little something. And then I used another small wax seal sticker. And that was it for that envelope. And then I could get going on the letter. Now, obviously, I don't share what I write in the letters here on YouTube because that is personal. This grid paper is from Muji and I absolutely love it because the grid is so small. I am running out, so I'll have to get more somehow, but it's really great and I use it for everything. It's the same paper that I used for stamping Karen's name for the envelope and everything, so yeah, I love this. I decorated the bottom of it with the same cherry blossom pet tape to just make it cohesive to the theme. And then I used this Notebook Therapy stamp at the top in the right corner for writing the date of when I wrote the letter. And then I hand lettered Karen's name with a Tombow dual brush pen. I think it's the 772. It's my favorite pink Tombow dual brush pen. It's really pretty and soft and warm and the best pink ever. After I had written the letter, I folded it up, and this is where I made a little mistake because I didn't realize this until I was putting the whole thing together, but this letter is just slightly longer than the card, so it sticks out the top and the bottom. And at first I thought, okay, it's annoying, but it doesn't really matter. But it turns out it did matter because this card had to go into an envelope that fits the card. And so the letter was actually too wide. But because I didn't write all the way to the edges of the paper, I was able to just cut off the edges a little bit. And that way it would fit in the envelope. But yeah, just little things that I don't always think about, and then suddenly they pose a problem. But it was fine. To seal the letter, I just stuck some more cherry blossoms on there. I hope that it won't make it difficult to open, but I think that this pet tape is pretty easy to peel off the paper, so hopefully it will be easy for Karen to open it. And also, it looks really pretty. When I was done decorating this and putting it through the belly band in the card, I started filling up the card with some other gifts for Karen. For example, I gifted her all of these girl stickers, pretty much all the stickers in the set that I didn't use to decorate the envelope and the card. I also made little washi samples. I'm not sure why I decided to go with these particular ones, but I just figured they are maybe a little bit rarer. The bottom one is from Paper Monogatari, and it's not for sale anymore because her collections are mostly limited collections that are only available for around 3 months. So I decided to gift her one of those, and then also one of my own washi tapes that are from my shop, Ikigai Papir, and then another blue and white one that is actually cherry blossom themed. That one is also from Paper Monogatari from last year's spring collection, I think. I'm not super strict about my washi tape samples, but I usually count around 20 to 30 rounds around the gift tag to make my washi tape samples because I want them to be quite substantial but also not too thick, because I don't want the PENPAL letter to be too chunky. Another thing that I decided to gift Karen are these pet tapes from Paper Minty Studio. I got these last spring, I think, winter, spring, and they're really pretty. It is a pet tape with backing, so the backside isn't sticky until you peel it. So I just cut off some pieces of the pet tape and then I put them through the belly band. This was really the easiest way to gift them to Karen. And then I also put in some other goodies, some tapes from Notebook Therapy, some ephemera from lots of different places really, some from Journal Say, some from Notebook Therapy. I put in a good selection of different colors and themes, but I kept it within the spring vibes, kind of. I don't actually have that much cherry blossom themed stationery, so I had to supplement it with some other colors as well. In the end, I found it was really difficult to fit the larger ephemera in the small pockets on the side, so I put most of the gifts through the belly band and then some smaller stickers in the pockets. I really hope that Karen will like all of the little extras that I put into this letter, and I hope that she'll be happy to see this letter in her mailbox. I think she sent this in December or early January if I remember correctly, so it's been a little while, but hopefully she'll be happy to see it. Obviously, I'm not going to write on the big vellum envelope in this video because that's Karen's name and address, but here you can see that I am using the Tombow Fudonosuke to write on the little envelope. The final touch was to tie this ribbon around the card just to hold it together. The ribbon was just barely too short, so it was a little bit difficult. And then just stuff it into the inner envelope, which was also a bit of a challenge, but I did it. And this was after I had cut off the sides of the letter, like I mentioned before. And then I just stuffed the little wax seal envelope in there as well. And then here I'm just testing to see what it will look like once it's on the inside of the vellum envelope. And I think that it looks really cute. In the end though, when I sent it, I flipped it around so that the background was white because after I wrote the address, it looked a little bit busy. and it was a little bit difficult to see, and I wanted to make sure that the postal service didn't have any trouble reading the address. So this is what it ended up looking like, and I think it turned out so cute. It's so springy and fun and elegant in a way. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. Make sure to put a cherry blossom emoji in your comment to let me know. Be sure to click the link in the description box to get a 1-month free trial to Skillshare. And with that, all that's left to say is I hope that you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!